Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Hardin County Commissioners Court. Today is Monday, June 22nd, and it is 10 a.m., and we're about to begin a regular meeting. Commissioner Pelt will be absent today. However, we have a quorum present, and the meeting will come to order. Pastor Aragon with the First Baptist Church of Saratoga, will you please deliver the invocation?
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the night's rest and a new day to live and take care of the business at hand in this court. Thank you for the numerous possibilities and plans you have for us today. You already know. Thank you that you'll bless our troops in harm today and keep them safe and well and strong. And I thank you for a city and a nation where we can publicly petition for help and direction for the decisions of the hour. I thank you that we can praise your name. Please help our judge and our commissioners today with every decision. May you bless the court with good decisions today. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. If everybody will please remain standing for the pledge, and Joseph Singletary, if you'll lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank y'all. Item number 4, Glenda Austin, County Clerk, approval of minutes of prior meeting. Good morning, Ms. Austin.
That would be a regular meeting on June the 8th of 2015.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Cooper and a second by Commissioner Kirkendall. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 5, Deborah McWilliams, County Treasurer, presentation and approval of registered claims to be canceled by court. Good morning, Debbie.
Good morning. I'm asking that the court would release me of the liability of $494,872.93. These were the vouchers that were related to the bills presented on the June 8th court.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Kirkendall and a second by Commissioner Roberts. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 6, Deborah McWilliams, presentation and approval of cash statement.
In our cash this morning, in general checking account, we have $440,734.24. In our investment account at Wells Fargo, we have $6,631,042.38. In our tax pool general account, we have $3,500,000 for total cash funds of $10,571,776.62.
Move that we receive the cash report. Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Kirkendall and a second by Commissioner Roberts. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thanks, Debbie. Item number 7, Angela Gore, County Auditor, payment of county bills. We have Laura Comer sitting in for Angela Gore this morning. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning. Pre-approved expenditures for June 11th, 2015 were $278,939.53. Pre-approved expenditures for June 17th, 2015 were $21,442.91. And today, June 22nd, 2015, the expenditures for Commissioners Court are $151,342.99 for a total expenditures of $451,725.43. The gross payroll for June the 11th was $405,739.45. The FICA was $29,867.35. The retirement was $57,549.55. For a total transfer on June the 11th, 2015 payroll was $493,156.35.
I move we pay county bill. Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Cooper and a second by Commissioner Roberts to pay the county bills. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 8, Judge Charles Brewer, Justice of the Peace Precinct 2. Introduction of new Court Clerk Jill Vaughn. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Today I'm going to introduce my new court clerk, Jill Vaughn. She comes from the Sylvia Police Department and served as the administrative assistant to the police chief. And she was over all the records there, and I think she's been on the job now for 3 weeks. And this is her 3rd week. She's doing a great job, and I'm very pleased to have her with me. She's going to be a great asset to not only my office, but to Hardin County.
Good morning, Jill. Welcome to Hardin County.
Thank you.
Do you want
Item number 9, Chief Monica Kelly, Juvenile Probation Department, introduction of new Secretary Court Administrator Marie Murphy. Good morning, Monica.
Morning. Thank you, Judge. Commissioners. We would like to introduce Marie Murphy. She's our new Secretary Court Administrator. She'll be working in juvenile probation. She's been with us a week, and we're glad to have her on board.
Yes, we are. Welcome. Marie, did you want to give a speech? Item number 10, adoption of resolution number 18-15, recognizing Jackie Ellis for over 20 years of dedicated service to the purchasing department of Hardin County and to the citizens of Hardin County, and wishing her well in her retirement. Good morning, Jackie. Kevin Cummings? Present. You have a copy of the resolution? All right. Mr. Cummings has agreed to read the resolution this morning before we pass it.
Hi, Jackie.
Hey, Kevin.
All right, first off, before I start, everybody's gonna miss Jackie, but me and Cindy are blessed because we're next door neighbors, so we're gonna keep up with her.
So if we
Okay,
have a question, we can just call you and you can get it.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah, good neighbors, Jackie and John's good neighbors. Resolution 18-15. Whereas Jackie Ellis has been a devoted part of the Hardin County family since 1994 and served the people of Hardin County, Texas with her outgoing, boisterous enthusiasm. And whereas Jackie Ellis dedicated her talents and expertise and pledged her services as a purchasing assistant and purchasing agent for Hardin County. And whereas through determination and strong commitment to excellence, Jackie Ellis has earned the respect and admiration of her colleagues and the citizens of Hardin County. And whereas Jackie Ellis is recognized for her unselfish devotion to the common good and well-being of the citizens of Hardin County, Texas, and her contagious laughter will be dearly missed by her friends, coworkers, and family at the Hardin County Courthouse. Now therefore be it resolved that the Commissioners Court of Hardin County, Texas does hereby honor and commend Jackie Ellis for her dedicated service as a valuable employee of Hardin County and wishes her the best in her retirement.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you. That was nice. Thank you.
I move we adopt resolution 18-15.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Cooper and a second by Commissioner Kirkendall to adopt resolution 18-15. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And Jackie, we have your certificate and gift for you. You'll meet me over here at the podium. We sure are gonna miss you.
Oh, thank you. I'm
I
gonna miss y'all.
didn't get to work with you as the county judge for very long, but I enjoyed the time that I did. I have worked with you for a number of years prior to that, and
Right.
I know that you've done a wonderful job for Hardin County, and your shoes will be hard to fill, but I believe that
I think we've got a good one
we've got a
here.
good one.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to take pictures,
Mix.
we're not posing right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. You can have that.
Thank you. I'm just gonna say that, the first thing that when I sent my letter into them, it was gonna be bittersweet, and it truly is, cause I have enjoyed my time here, and I appreciate all of y'all, everybody is like family to me up here, and I will always remember y'all, and it's been just so great, and I'm not gonna cry, so I'm gonna sit down.
Item number 12, Shirley Stevens, Tax Assessor Collector, recognizing Kathy Moss for 12 years of dedicated service as a clerk for the tax office and to the citizens of Hardin County, and wishing her well in her retirement. Good morning, Ms. Stevens and Ms. Moss.
Kathy has chosen to leave us, to retire. I was hoping that she would wait until I got ready to retire. But I've enjoyed working with Kathy. She's been an excellent employee. She and I graduated together. And, you know, we never knew that we would be working with each other, but she has been a pleasure. And so it's with great pleasure that I present her with her certificate and also with your keychain.
Thank you so much.
Okay, would you like to say something?
I've enjoyed being here. I've enjoyed my job and everyone around me, and I will miss you.
We'll miss you too.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck to you. Item number 12, Shirley Stevens, discussion and action regarding request to hire 2 part-time clerks to fill vacancies being left by 2 retiring clerks. I believe everyone has a memo from Ms. Stevens dated June the 15th. And Ms. Stevens,
Okay, what is happening here is, Kathy and also, Jennifer Lumen will be leaving in August. They will at that point have accrued 4 weeks vacation, of which they will receive payment for. In the normal course, we would wait until after that 4-week period. However, I do feel like that it's vital that I get someone in the office, get them trained, ready to go. And all I'm asking is that you let me hire someone to take their places for, part-time for 4 weeks, 20 hours a week at $12.90 an hour. And then at the end of the 4 weeks, then they would automatically roll into a full-time position.
so you're going to do that, you're going to hire one, or you'd like to hire one person now to replace Ms. Moss?
Right.
And then you're going to wait till August to hire
That
the
is
other part-time
correct.
person?
And I did calculate that, and, I came up with $1,032, that would not be covered under my line items.
Do you have it elsewhere in your budget?
Yes, sir, I do. I will have it elsewhere in the budget that it will be covered overall,
Okay.
okay?
I
And
think I'm sorry, Judge. you
I was
had
just
something.
gonna say, we would be able to get with the auditor and move those funds as necessary toward the end of the budget year.
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead,
I
Commissioner.
think that the rate of service that this office gives to the public, it is needed, where she would be shorthanded if we didn't allow this, so I would be all for it. Even up to the point, if it wasn't covered in her budget, for us to take it out of contingency, because it's very vital to have those personnel there, so I would be for that.
My next question is, will it be okay to have a part-time person, or do you need a full-time person? Will part-time work?
I would certainly love a full-time person to be able to go ahead and bring them in and get them established full-time. However, you know, if it's not feasible, I would like a part-time.
Well, I know you told us that you're already having to work some of your clerks overtime to stay up as it is. If you go to a full-time, a part-time from a full-time, it's gonna put you much farther behind.
That is correct. And more so with the second clerk that is leaving, that would be throwing us right into tax season.
Ms. Stevens, would you be okay if we address these one at a time? Let's go ahead and address the
Oh, that would
position
be
that you have,
wonderful.
that you need to fill now. Let's go ahead and do
Yes.
that with a part-time person.
Yes, sir.
And then in August, we'll reevaluate things, and if you need a full-time person, then let's talk about it at that time.
Okay.
Would that be
That's
okay with the court?
It'd be fine.
Okay.
I move that we allow the tax assessor to hire a part-time person for this position.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Cooper and a second by Commissioner Kirkendall. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thanks, Ms.
Thank you.
Stevens. Item number 13, Joseph Singletary, AgriLife Extension Agent, presentation of agent update. And you're also going to introduce some guests, or,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having us here this morning.
thank you.
For those of y'all in the room who don't know me, my name is Joseph Singletary. I'm the County AgriLife Extension Agent. And I brought with me today some 4-H leaders. Would y'all stand up, guys and ladies? These are kids in my 4-H program that have designated themselves. This was a voluntary event for them to come to. They've designated themselves as leaders, and that's what we're doing today is we're learning leadership techniques and leadership responsibilities. And then we came in here to watch because we use parliamentary procedure for our meetings, so we came in here to watch so that they can see that what I'm going to teach them this afternoon isn't something that they'll never use in their life. So I wanted to see the y'all can sit down. Parliamentary procedure used in the real world. Some other things that have been going on. I had a workshop this month for pond management. And I've been working very closely with the Lower Neches Soil Water Conservation District, and we've set up a few other programs throughout the year. Greenhouse gardening is one of them, and then another one is going to be over fall forages. Y'all can look for those flyers in the next few months. And then we have this leadership training today. Our 4-H year starts in September, so some of these are new officers for the next 4-H year, and some of these are old officers from last 4-H year. We only have 3 in here that aren't currently elected officers for the next 4-H year, but hopefully after this training and after the next 4-H year, they'll become officers as well. Well, I also have 2 members from the Swine Quiz Bowl team in here. Would y'all raise your hand or stand up? They went to state in Swine Quiz Bowl. They placed 4th at state out of 16. So there were 16 teams, and they placed 4th in swine knowledge, general swine knowledge, production knowledge. So we're very proud of them. And then we also have a few in here who compete in rodeo and other events, and they've been doing very well as also. I know this little girl in the back in the brightly colored headband, she's got some firsts, and we're very proud of them. Also this week, myself and that young man in the blue shirt right there, he is going to Leadership Lab. That's another event we're going to have in Galveston, and he, maybe not this year, but maybe next year, he's going to run for a district office, and that's the place where he would do that at. So we're excited, and we're just looking forward to the new 4-H year getting kicked off. Do y'all have any questions for me?
I just appreciate all the updates and information.
Yeah, yes, sir. If y'all ever have any questions, I do give y'all a monthly Commissioner Court report. If y'all ever have any questions on that, I'm a phone call away, or I'll attend a Commissioner Court meeting and clarify anything off of that y'all didn't understand. So thank y'all very much for having us, and thank you for letting my kids be a part of this. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joseph, and thanks for bringing them, and we appreciate you so much. Item number 14, acceptance of resignation of Billy Tomlinson from the Hardin County Appraisal District Board of Directors, and adoption of resolution number 19-15, nominating Curtis Davis to fill the vacancy. Everyone has a copy of Mr. Tomlinson's resignation letter dated June the 10th, and in his resignation, he recommended Curtis to fill the position. Curtis is currently serving on the Appraisal Review Board. He has served on the Appraisal District Board of Directors previously for a period of time, and I agree with Mr. Tomlinson's his recommendation, thank you, of Mr. Davis.
You want 2 separate motions, acceptance of resignation and then the adoption of resolution, or one?
I think we can do it all in one.
All right. I move we accept the resignation and then also adopt resolution 19-15.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Cooper and a second by Commissioner Kirkendall. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 15, presentation from financial advisor and bond counsel on issuance of certificates of obligation or bond election to fund courthouse annex project. Mr. Guy Goodson, good morning.
Good morning, Judge, members of the court. Guy Goodson again, for the benefit of the audience, with the Germer Law Firm in Beaumont. We've been privileged to serve as your counsel in your prior debt obligations, 2007, and your refunding a little over a year ago. Mr. Gilly with U.S. Capital is your financial advisor and is here. We understand basically the needs of the county to take some actions relative to the replacement of the courthouse annex facility. Mr. Gilly will talk to you generally about the terms. For the benefit of the members of the court and for the audience, counties can issue debt in a couple of forms. One is after an election, which would be in November, general election, which requires then the cost of a countywide election and subject to the 30-day contestability provision. But all that being said, that is what we call general obligation bonds, and the county has not issued those in quite some time. But that is certainly a viable option and would be on a ballot in November. As I earlier advised the judge, you have until probably around your court meeting in August to call that general election. I know the county clerk probably says I'd like it a little earlier than because that's very near the very last day statutorily to call it. But as it works out, I think you're a few days ahead of the statutory deadline if you choose to do that in August, then proceed with all of the typical election procedures, the notices. And as I mentioned to the judge, because of some changes in the law in 2013, those general election order notices require a little bit more. There's a great deal that your clerk is responsible for advising of all the countywide or county voting precincts, but now we have to identify any number of financial calculations in that as a result of action the legislature took in 2013. Happy to do this. We've done it for other clients and would work with both your financial team, Angela, and the county clerk to do that if that's the pleasure of the Commissioner's Court. The other alternative is, as we did in 2007 with your jail bonds, is to issue what are referred to as certificates of obligation. Those are, again, additionally a tax pledge, and Mr. Gilly can give you, fill in real quickly on the dollar amount that would entail as possible tax increase over the current tax rate. Occasionally, depending on type of project, we'll just need to get into this with the court a little more thoroughly. You might have to make a limited, like up to $1,000 revenue pledge. I don't know if we could pledge your hangar revenue or something modest. In addition, we'll see if we need that, but it's a very minor part. But to do that, you have to give the citizens notice of your intent to do that, not just at this meeting, but by publication. And that would be in your newspaper of general publication once a week for 2 consecutive weeks, probably following your July or at your July meeting, that following some days in that week on the publication date of your paper. Then we would publish that, so that would go out to the public over a period of time. Then Mr. Gilly has an outline. I'll let him go through it a little more thoroughly. The difference there is if there wasn't a contest of the issuance of those certificates, you probably could have some money by mid-fall. So it's with the general obligation debt, it's probably going to be sometime after the first of the year, early first quarter of 2016. Otherwise, probably fall of 2015. I'll let Jim kind of go through the numbers with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gilly. How are you this morning? Do you have this?
Yes, sir.
available
If you
handout?
want me to, I'll pass it out.
If you don't mind.
Oops. Thank you. All right, let's see, let me keep, this is a GO here, and, this is, yeah,
That's the seal.
okay, and then let me have a CO. The judge asked me to.
Thank you, sir.
This is the seal. That's one for general obligation, it's a certificate of obligation. Or a different timetable. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here, and the judge asked me to keep the presentation below 2 hours, so I'll try to do that.
Thank you.
And, but I can make it very brief. You may, as Guy mentioned, back in 2007, you issued certificates of obligation to finance the jail improvements, and then last year we refinanced those to generate some interest rate savings. general obligation bonds are virtually the same in the perception of the marketplace as certificates of obligation. As Guy mentioned, the GO bonds require a little more time to implement, to issue them because of the election process. That costs a little bit of money. And then my understanding of the law is that an election can be held only on 2 dates in a year, in November and in May. And so if you were to submit this proposition to an election, probably the earliest, as this timetable shows, you could issue debt would be in the latter part of February. So what we would do after the election passes is begin preparation of offering statements for underwriters to bid on your debt, and that requires an offering document that the underwriters, prospective underwriters, can use to analyze the debt, and also the winning bidder would distribute those to prospective purchasers. And in anticipation of that, the county would require a bond rating. You have an existing rating on your outstanding debt of I think it's AA minus. Let me make sure I didn't misspeak. The certificates, and then we would probably call for structure a competitive sale of the voted bonds in January, and it takes about 30 days once those bonds have been bids have been received and the action taken by court to be assembled into a transcript, which Guy would do, and then he would submit that to the Attorney General of Texas for the Attorney General's approval. And that process, from the date you receive the bids, takes about 30 days. So that's why if you took bids in January, you wouldn't receive money or deliver the debt until latter part of February. Certificates of obligation work the same way in the respect of the sale and the delivery, but they don't require the election process. There's an opportunity for citizens to contest it under the statutes. And one of the, if you did issue certificates of obligation and you're ready to move forward, the timetable contemplates the giving of the notice of intent, which would be a formal action by the court to authorize the publication the Guy mentioned twice in the county's local newspaper, and then a sale in September with a delivery in October. And the key thing about the sale in September that we have assumed in this presentation, in this timetable, is that you would then be able to include those obligations into your tax rate. Whereas if you sold in January voted bonds, you would be unable to do so, and so the first payment we would have to schedule, unless you had money already available that you could apply to the first debt payment, we would have to postpone the first debt payment until maybe a year. Depending on what, as I said, what your cash situation is. So that's an advantage of moving forward with the certificates of obligation. As far as the, for $2 million, which is what the judge is estimating you might need, that would probably affect, based on your 2004 assessed valuation, that would probably require less than a half a cent in tax rate. Probably my calculations that you may have already seen by email is approximately 0.3 to 0.3 cents. So there's from that standpoint, there's not a whole lot of impact on your tax rate, but there's no free lunch, and so you're going to be adding new debt. What we've tried to do in coming up in structuring that tax rate is to make the debt such that it minimizes your existing, minimizes the effect on your debt rate until after your existing debt pays off, and then you increase the repayment structure. So that's a quick overview, and if you have any questions, hopefully I can answer them. So
do you have a card with your information in case we want to get,
yes,
start
sir.
looking over this and have questions? We
I
can call
do.
you?
Yes, sir.
A couple other things, and this is true whether you put this out for a GO bond with the in the notice or in the CO. They're very interested that the citizens have a full disclosure of what the money is being spent for. So we would need to work with you all between now and the next court session, however the court wishes to proceed, to make sure we have a well-defined project, and then Mr. Gilly and I would put together the language subject to your approval and that of the county clerk of what either the notice of intent for a CO or the ballot proposition language would be. And it's broken down by the project cost, the cost from Mr. Gilly and I, what we call the soft cost of issuance, architectural, engineering. You provide us that detail and we carry it along. And just like with elections, whether it is a general obligation debt, ballot proposition, or a notice of intent, those are all put out in the newspaper in English and Spanish. It follows all the same general procedures that you go through providing notification in a general election. So the last thing I would mention is whichever way you all choose to proceed, while it's not anticipated that you may undertake these, if you do have a cost that you're going to incur before the time that the money's in the bank, the Internal Revenue Code does provide you with an opportunity to adopt what is called a reimbursement resolution, where we identify whatever it be, again, $2 million, whatever dollar project, and states that you may expend funds from your general fund before you receive those funds. This happens from time to time. People have to buy land, clearing costs, environmental, geotechnical, other things that may require expenditures before you want to get ahead of the sort of the project timetable. We do that, and then we can go back afterwards through the county auditor and financial people and calculate that reimbursement, and then that does end up on a form to the Internal Revenue Service when we go forward. So again, there's a complete disclosure of what money was spent, what money was reimbursed in the entire process. So we will bring that reimbursement resolution to the next court meeting. That way, whichever way the court decides to proceed, we would have that available in case it's needed. It's just kind of a belts and suspenders, not saying you will spend any money beforehand, but just in case you do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
We appreciate y'all coming and making your presentation. I would like to state for our citizens as well as our news media, this is for the annex project over at the annex, and we are really on a time frame here because I think I can speak for the rest of the court. Before we take any action or decide to do anything, we're going to see where we stand on our budget.
Yes, sir.
Before we would go out for a certificate of obligation or a bond issue. One other option that we do have, it's not a very popular option, is to look at existing buildings that are already here that might be available to us throughout the county. So once we get further into our budget process, find out where we're at, and on our tax rate and all that, then we'll be making a decision. Of course, just like you said earlier, we're on a time frame here with the state and the county clerk as far as getting something on the ballot. So we are aware of all that. But we do appreciate y'all coming today.
Thank you, and of course, we'll be back here whenever you feel it's appropriate over the next court session. So, thank you all again for the opportunity to serve you.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you have anything else? Item number 16, Dana Hogg, District Clerk. Discussion and action regarding the following budget amendment requests. $13,701.25 from account number 010-450-101, salaries and wages, to account number 010-450-453, equipment expense, and $3,000 from account number 010-450-101, salaries and wages, to account number 010-450-310, office supplies. I believe everyone has a memo from Ms. Hogg regarding this request, and Ms. Hogg is present to discuss it as well. Good morning, Ms. Hogg.
As we discussed in the last meeting, this will enable us to purchase new scanners. The ones we have now, we are able to utilize at one page at a time. This will allow us to stack pages and scan much more quickly. It will also allow us to purchase a large scanner so we can begin the process of scanning documents that are over at the annex now.
And then don't you have a storage building over across the street as well?
Yes, we
And so
pay
we're gonna be working on that as well.
$125 a month on that storage building, and I would like to get those out of there so we can get rid of that monthly cost.
And this money that you're asking to transfer from salaries and wages, this is a position that you chose not to fill?
Right,
So
this
you're
is a
asking to spend
full-time
those
position
funds.
that we had not filled.
And you're planning not to fill it?
Correct. I have asked for the next budget for it just to be a part-time position, so we can utilize that person for full-time scan, for 3-day scanning. Excuse me. The auditor has looked at the numbers and has verified that there is enough money there with, I believe, a little left. So this will also, the $3,000 will also help with the office expense right now. It's in the negative. I believe a large amount of that was spent on startup, on all our stamps, things that had to be changed over to my name in the beginning of the year. Also, we're using a lot of toner. So the goal is, once we have these scanners, to have them connected, the computer's connected to the copier, so we can utilize the copier. It's less expensive than buying the toner cartridges.
And so all your printing will go through the copier instead of each individual?
Right. We may retain one or two just as a backup, plan. We have one that works pretty good, so we could utilize that one over in my office across the hall, just for, in case we have to
Yes,
have a
ma'am.
backup.
Right, always good to have a backup.
Yes.
Has anybody ever got an answer for us legally if we can move money from salaries to other line items? I've been told in the past that was illegal.
It was in the past. I don't know about currently. She'll have to look into
From what I've been told, it can only be done by Commissioner's Court. And that works both ways, if you want to transfer money from operations into salaries or salaries into operations.
I
takes a
personally
Commissioner's Court.
think that department heads should be able to do what they want to with their budget, but I was told in the past that it wasn't legal, and I just wondered if anybody ever got us an answer for that, so.
Mr. Goodson
If
just
it's,
left.
if it has to be authorized through us, I don't have a problem with it.
Is that a motion?
Did I get a no on my question?
I will tell Angela to look into it and give you an answer.
Is anybody in the audience aware of any other department head that's made this request in the past that's been turned down? Judge? I can barely see you. Is that,
I'm sorry. Just in the past 2 weeks, I asked for $500 to be moved out of my salaries into travel, and I was denied that because it was moving out of salaries into travel.
and
Well, I'd like to speak to that. It wasn't denied, but she had money in another line item, and I asked her, could we do that instead of, but I did tell you that we could go to court and move the money from salaries if that's what you'd rather do. But it would be easier to move the money from the, I think you said you had $600 in cell phone allowance that you were not gonna use, and so I told you that would be easier if we moved that money to cover your training, and that's what we decided to do.
I would make a motion to allow the district clerk to, transfer the amounts indicated from each line item to the other that she has requested.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Cooper and a second by Commissioner Kirkendall. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Ms. Hall. Item number 17, acceptance of Commissioners' annual road reports. I believe we have all four reports from all four precincts. Is that correct? Yes, sir. You received all four of them? I move that we accept the Precinct 1, Precinct 2, Precinct 3, and Precinct 4 annual road reports into the minutes of the court and submit to the grand jury along with a copy of road work contracts for the previous year.
Second.
I have a motion by the chair and a second by Commissioner Kirkendall. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 18, consider and possibly authorize county judge to execute an order to close Park Road North in Lumberton, Precinct 4, effective immediately and until further notice for the safety of the traveling public due to damages caused by the recent floods. I think y'all have some pictures that Commissioner Roberts provided this morning. And Commissioner Roberts, would you like to speak to that?
Well, what has happened, and it's been a erosion problem that's been ongoing all this year because of all the rain we've had. Where the water is coming up to Park Road, there's nothing really to stop it from eroding around the culverts that are there. And it's, now made its way up under the road apparently, and is, causing problems with one of the main culvert that runs, where Boggy Creek is. It's causing that to deteriorate, but it's also taking all the material between the roadbed and the culvert, which is leaving a void. And we're afraid that all this there is the asphalt, and we're afraid that if a heavy enough vehicle or a vehicle goes across it, it could collapse with it. And that's why we've closed it until we can figure out how we can fix this or shore it up.
Any other questions?
Alvin, how's it gonna impact people, residents?
Well, fortunately, there's, this is a one-way in, it's two ways into this place. You can come in off of Keith Road, or you can come in off of 69. And, it may slow them down a little bit coming back around to come into town, but, better safe than sorry.
I move we allow the judge to execute this order.
Alvin, you want to say?
I second it.
I have a motion by Commissioner Cooper and a second by Commissioner Roberts. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? And for the record, I talked to Commissioner Pelt this morning at 9:20, and he's in favor of this as well, so it will be a unanimous vote. Item number 19, consider and possibly authorize 60-day continuance of declaration of disaster. Did everybody receive the declaration that was issued on the 19th?
Yes, sir.
That's only good for 7 days, so in order to extend it any further, and I believe that it is necessary that we extend that order, it takes an action of Commissioners Court, and I recommend a 60-day continuation.
Second.
Have a motion by the chair and a second by Commissioner Kirkendall. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 20, authorization for county judge to sign memoranda of understanding between the Southeast Texas Regional Planning Commission and Hardin County, Texas, for the utilization of equipment purchased with the Texas Homeland Security State Administrative Agency grant funds.
Make a motion, we accept that.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Roberts and a second by Commissioner Cooper. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 21, Amanda Young, Assistant Floodplain Administrator, requests permission for county judge to execute electronic payment services agreement with Merchant Multi-Service LLC, DBA GovPay, for the purpose of accepting electronic financial transactions such as credit cards, debit cards, and electronic checks. Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning.
Are y'all having a lot of requests to accept credit cards or debit cards?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
It's a convenience fee. The minimum is $3, but as of right now, they're having to use the ATM, which is, I think, $2.50 or $2.95. And there's people that would like to do it over the phone. So,
And you'd be set up to do that as well?
yes, sir.
What about online?
We talked about that this morning, and I think that it would probably not be a good idea because we need to regulate the flood zones. And we don't just want people to be able to buy permits online. So we can do it over the phone, but that is something we might be able to do in the future.
I'd like to see us go to that if we could, once you set the rate, and once they know how much they have to pay, that they could go to a website where they make that payment. Will there be any cost to the county for this service?
No, sir.
All right. Any other discussion or questions?
Make a motion, we accept it.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Have a motion by Commissioner Roberts and a second by Commissioner Kirkendall. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 22, Misty Whitney, Purchasing Agent. Discussion regarding results of surplus inventory sale with Renee Bates online auction. Good morning.
We sold some surplus furniture and equipment on Renee Bates, and our total was $91.57.
Any other questions? Somebody want to make a motion?
I make a motion, we accept this.
Thank you, Commissioner Roberts.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Roberts and a second by Commissioner Kirkendall. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item number 23, Misty Whitney, discussion regarding results and awarding of bids for salvage office furniture equipment, scrap metal pieces, refrigerators, toilets, air conditioners, and miscellaneous items.
We opened bids in the purchasing department on June 16th at 2 o'clock. Me, Misty Whitney, and Trudy Unruh were present. For Lot A, the metal, Kendall Tyler bid $50. And on Lot B, the wood, we had no bids. We'd like to ask permission to dispose of that we didn't get bids on.
I move we allow her to dispose of the items that we didn't get bids on.
And can we do that? Because it just says discussion, it doesn't say discussion in action.
Right, and it says the same thing.
We just took a vote on 22, it said discussion.
Yep, sure does. That's why I was sitting there looking at everybody.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. We're gonna have to come back on both of these items and address them because it doesn't have action on the agenda. Item 24, Misty Whitney awarding a bid for overlaying 2,776 feet on Clear Lake Road, 2,151 feet on Andover Drive, and 2,994 feet on Lakewood Drive in Precinct 1. Now, Misty, you called to my attention on Friday that there needs to be a correction made on Lakewood Drive. It should read 1,708 feet, is that correct? And this actually was worded incorrectly in the minutes. On May the 26th, we had this amount, the 2,994 feet. We're gonna need to correct those minutes as well, the May 26 minutes, to 1,708 feet. Go ahead, Misty.
Bids are open in the purchasing department on June 19th at 2 o'clock. Trudy Unruh and Misty Whitney were present. Bids are as follows. LD Construction was $140 a square yard. CMM Construction was $135 a square yard.
I move we go with the low bid.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Cooper and a second by Commissioner Kirkendall. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 25, Misty Whitney, awarding a bid for overlaying 7/10 of a mile on Reed Ranch Road in Precinct 2.
Bids were open in purchasing department on June 19th at 2 o'clock. Trudy Unruh and Misty Whitney were present. LD Construction was $140 a square yard. CMM Construction was $135 a square yard.
I move we go low bid.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Kirkendall and a second by Commissioner Roberts. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Are there any other announcements or other business? Yes, ma'am. We have two ladies here from Precinct 4. I got to speak with them briefly this morning. They're not on the agenda, so we won't be taking any action, but they would like to talk to us about Callahan Road.
My
What are
name
your
is
names?
Linda Walden,
Okay.
and this is Donna Stevens, and we live on
That's in Precinct 3.
Precinct 3.
Yes, ma'am.
On Callahan Lane, which, we're in the end of Callahan and 421, which is a part county, part city road. Over the years, I've been neighborhood watch. We'd go back there every, 6 months, get our four-wheelers, go back there, put all this trash, and then they would come get it. It was just mounds and mounds of dumping back there. Not only trash, but dogs. Everybody, I've heard even somebody from Vidor say, oh yeah, I knew somebody dropped our dogs off from Vidor in Lumberton. So they know this area. I know school kids, when, not my kids, but after school, they would go back there and they would fight. Or party during the weekend, and we would hear that. Every time it rains, we hear four-wheelers, big trucks spinning out. So they're just not respecting our community or our road. It was in the paper that they were gonna close it, and we did have a road closure for May 31st, but since the city and the county owns that particular road, and it is Temple Inland Road, and they have several deer leases out there that they do. So there is a property of a gentleman, I don't know his name yet, but he is building several acres right there, but it's right at the beginning of that road. So we just want to be on the docket to discuss this and get it closed. We did have it closed at one time, and everybody had a key to it. to unlock the gate because it does flood on Boggy Creek Road, on Keith Road there. And we do have the Park Road, which is now closed because of the flooding and nobody could get out. So we did, open the gate there and let people through the 421 to go wherever. So, but it's a daily thing with dog dumping and, you feel sorry for them. Miss Donna over here, she's a dog hoarder.
I've
So
rescued
she's
many.
she's raised several and adopted and all that, but it's just getting to be.
And then my
overcome.
husband hunts on that lease, and during the season he went in to hunt, when he came back out, he had to clear all this furniture that somebody dumped between the time he went in there and came back out, just to get out of the gate.
Yeah.
I mean, I have several pictures. I don't know if y'all wanna look at them now or just wait.
I think what we'll do, did y'all bring a petition today?
Yes, we did.
If you'll go ahead and, leave that with my clerk in the front office here.
Okay.
And we will, either decide whether or not we're gonna go ahead and schedule a public hearing, or if we'll take this up in our next regular meeting and then have a public hearing afterwards, but I'll be in contact with you.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other announcements or any business? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Judge.
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry.
I don't like to create issues, but I would like to read the email where my
Yes,
assumption
ma'am.
of it was denied. This is dated June the 11th at 12:12 p.m. from you. It says, do you have the additional funds in your budget in any other line item that is not related to salaries/fringes? Funds for salaries/fringes cannot be transferred to operational expenses or vice versa. And then, in another paragraph, it says, as long as you have the funds available within your operational expenses. I took it that it was a no.
Okay. I'll be more clear next time.
I'm moving with adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Cooper and a second by Commissioner Kirkendall. We stand adjourned.